Hello, friends, and welcome to the 10th episode of the Squad Pod. Who saw that coming? My name is Maddox Jr., and I will be your host for the week. This week on the pod, we will be discussing Fall Guys and Warzone Season 5. But before we get to all that, hot dropping into the battlefield this week, we have the man who will stab you in the back to claim victory for himself, Kevin Asax. How you doing, Kevin?
Let me tell you, dude. 2 wins. 2 wins when I stabbed my friends in the back, dude.
Hey, yo, Kevin sucks.
Look at those crowds. I got him.
That's good. That's good. Next, we have the professional fall guy who tries to stay too chill. Bone Jangles, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Maddox.
Nothing gets our next guest as tilted as exclusive DLC. the Avenger, the White Claw Wizard. It's Washburn.
Oh my god.
What's up, guys? Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one right
That's
there.
crazy, right, Washburn?
I was full on tilted. I'm still pretty tilted about it.
Stand by that one.
Yeah.
And rounding out the squad for this week, we have Kinda Funny's official intern who can't remember who wrote which question in, whose day rate is so high that we made Washburn sell his house to pay him.
Yep.
Snowbike Mike.
Oh, you're too good to me, Maddox. I'm all good, bro. I'm happy to be back here on a Sunday. 10 episodes. Guys, did we really think that we'd do 10 weeks of this? This is incredible to
In
think
a row?
about.
No,
It's been fun. It's been a good time.
Yeah.
Sure, I've missed half of them.
Yeah, well, X-Cast.
Yeah, and day rate too, goes up when you go professional. So
Yeah, we figured we'd shell out the day rate for, hitting double digits.
yeah, Twitch partner too, huh, Mike? It's crazy since you last were here.
Whoa,
kidding.
a lot has happened since the 3 weeks I've been gone now. Is right. Crazy stuff.
Crazy.
Snowbike Mike be popping off over here. You can catch the Squad Pod every week on YouTube on Snowbike Bike Gaming.
Yeah, hold that.
Sometimes. And podcast services around the globe. Please go rate, like, subscribe, thumbs up, click that damn bell, all that stuff. All right, and getting into it, we'll get into our big topics in a little bit of Fall Guys and Warzone, but everyone has some thoughts on the Avengers beta so far. What are you thinking?
It was pretty good. You brought it up at the top of the show. The Spider-Man exclusive stuff really pissed me off. Like, really, really rubbed me the wrong way. Because I was probably going to play it on Xbox like I do everything else, and was looking forward to that Series X upgrade, when that comes out this fall. But here comes Sony, you know what I mean? Saying, we've got Spider-Man, and we're going to put him on our console, and you can't get him everywhere else. So it worked. I'm a weak-willed man, and I will now play this game on PlayStation. But I went in mad at the game, and wanting to, stay mad at it, and came out pleasantly surprised. I think it's pretty good. It's not something that's like going to blow your socks off. I think everybody else here would pretty much agree with that. It's your average, hack and slash beat 'em up. You got a handful of abilities, but I liked it, and if anything, the beta got me excited to play more of it, and excited to see the story when it comes out in September.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. I mean, we came in on, that must have been Friday night, and I thought to myself, you know what, maybe we'll stream an hour, maybe 2 hours of this experience, and all of a sudden we were there for 5+ hours. I had a ton of fun with it, similar to Washburn. I mean, for me, I'm on a different fence of, like, the Sony exclusive didn't really bother me. I didn't really care for that idea of Spider-Man coming in months later as a DLC character. But when I look at it, right, I think of the idea is really novel and cool, right? Like, we're going to play as the Avengers in a multiplayer game where we can just drop into these Strike Force missions, run around as different Avengers from this cast, and just smile and have a good time. And I think all in all, my beta experience is just that, right? Had some cool single-player missions. We're getting to learn about Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel, somebody that I have no idea about. And so I'm really excited to learn about that character. And then on top of that, like, fun multiplayer moments is going to be really cool. How long will I play this after the release? Probably not long for me personally, but like the multiplayer experience with Kevin, Washburn, and Andy Cortez was a ton of fun to do. I liked it.
Mm-hmm. Kevin, any thoughts?
Avengers?
Yeah, Avengers.
Crazy, dude. That's a crazy game. I didn't think it would be. I didn't think it was gonna be that fun. And then like what Mike said, I think he said like, I didn't think we would be playing that game for that long. At least that beta.
Mm.
And when I looked at the time, it was like 11 already. And I was like, damn, we've been playing this for 5 hours. Holy moly! Then again, like that first hour, it's like single player kind of like story mode type of gameplay. So most of the time went into that, doing the tutorial and other stuff like that. But no, it was really fun. Fun trying out these characters. What do you have? Yeah, Black Widow, Iron Man, Hulk, Kamala Khan, and that's it. Yeah, that's 4.
That's it for the beta. Yeah,
It was fun. I hope and I wish they put in maybe Thor the next beta next weekend, but I don't think they will. Might just
I think it's gonna be.
Yeah, so
yeah.
it's
I
fun.
think it was really cool. The characters as well, Kevin, like how different the characters' play styles are. But when it comes down to it, like Washburn said, it is very similar to just kind of a hack and slash mentality, right? A lot of X's, a lot of Y's, on PlayStation, square and triangle, I know. But it's a lot of like smash, 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 make a fun combo with triangle right there. There's not much ranged, I would call that, attacking, right? Like Black Widow has these dual pistols, but like it's just tiny damage being taken away from somebody. Hulk can like throw rocks, but each one of them is so unique and different, right? You have Hulk doing big smashes. Kamala Khan has these really cool melee attacks where she's making her hands giant, or she's kicking somebody with a massive foot, or she grows taller than everybody on the field. And then like the difference is all of a sudden now you're Iron Man, you're flying above things and you're doing the chest laser, and that's really cool. Black Widow can go invisible. So they all have like very similar play styles because the game is simple. Like just smash, 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 make a combo out of it, do it again. But they're all so unique with their different abilities, their different play styles of being the Hulk, being in the fray. Black Widow like dropping in, getting a couple strikes, and then running away invisible. I really think that was the coolest part, is to see the 4 characters we got to see be different, play each one of them, enjoy them for their differences, and then kind of find the one that you might want to be for the remainder of the beta, let's say, even though I know we're all going to play them all.
Yeah, I think they do the best they can with giving you a slate of different characters, and every button's the same. Light attack is square, heavy attack is triangle. Every character has an intrinsic ability that's hooked on the R2. So like for Hulk, that's like if you hold down R2, he goes into rage mode. For Iron Man, I think he like puts up little shields. Like his intrinsic ability is like his energy. So the more he uses like his repulsor cannons or lasers, the faster that runs out. For Kamala, you hold R2, she gets a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger. And for Black Widow, she just like shoots her guns, which I thought it was cool that like, yes, they all play the same, the controls, but like the control scheme's the same. And that's really the only thing that is the same. Like Black Widow does not feel like Iron Man. You know what I mean? Iron Man, you're 100%. Flying around, you're shooting rockets, you're shooting lasers, and like Mike said, there's not a lot of ranged, but I don't know how much you played Iron Man, because like when I was playing Iron Man, I was just floating up above the battlefield and shooting down on stuff, and I thought that was really fun. For me, the game is that it's most like the coolest thing we did was this like strike mission. Like I guess I'm comparing it to Destiny. It's like a bigger mission. You go through multiple areas and it ends with like a big boss battle. And when you are playing with 3 friends, like I'm Hulk and I'm beating stuff up on the ground and like smashing through guys, and then over my shoulder here comes Andy, and you just see like Iron Man flying over your shoulder, beating up some guys in front of you. You look to your right, there's Black Widow, find some other guys over there. Like that's, for a comic book fan like myself, that's cool. Like that's going to be cool. And if you're a comic book fan, you're going to like this game. Like you're going to get more out of this game than you would going into it, like not a fan of comic books. So I enjoyed it and I'm going to play it. But like Mike said, like after I beat the main story, am I going to go back in and grind out all these levels and try to build out my characters? I don't know. Probably not, because I don't ever really do that with games as a service.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about the main drive here, right? Of course, it is the Avengers. It is this fun. They'll have a single player and a multiplayer, catch to this. But like, really, what it is it is similar to Destiny. Of like, there's going to be a loot grind to this. And now I want to preface this of like, all the loot does not change how you look. Like in Destiny, Bone Jangles will attest, you get a cool helmet, you see the helmet, right? Like when you get Black Widow's armbands, they're not going to change how your Black Widow looks. When you get an Iron Man, I don't know, whatever the thing he has, the helmet and stuff. But it will be interesting to see, do we buy into this loot grind, right? Similar to Destiny and all these other games and services of like, you're going to have 4, maybe 5 to 7 pieces of loot here. And the goal will be just to continuously run these multiplayer, single player missions to level up that character's power level to do, bigger and badder missions. And I really like that they've added this in there. I think it is cool as opposed to playing Marvel's Ultimate Alliance, where it's like, pick your character, level him up. You might change a couple of its abilities, but that's it. In this one, it's like, okay, I'm Black Widow and she's at power level 7. At the end of the night, she was power level 20 because I got X, Y, and Z armor kits and I was able to level them up. I think that was really cool. And I think that's the main draw of this game, right, Washburn? Like that's what's going to be the draw here.
That is a draw, but my biggest fear with that is that they're going to gatekeep campaign story missions behind power level. And I do not want that. I do not want to be going through the main story and then hit a stone wall where it says, "Oh, the next story mission, recommended power level is 10, 15 to 20 higher than you currently are." Anthem did this, and it like everybody hated it. So that's my biggest fear is like you're getting a good flow of the story, and then you get to a point in the story where it's like, "Oh, this next campaign mission is 15 to 20 levels higher recommended than you currently are. So why don't you go and put the campaign on hold and go and grind out these?" I do not want that at all. I want to be able to come in, play that main story, and then if I feel like it, go back, grind out those other little strike zones, those side missions, and level my guys up at my own pace. I don't want the campaign telling me how high of a level I need to be. And so if they do that, that's the game's gonna get knocked. Like nobody's gonna like that.
Yeah.
Dang, Washburn, that's some in-depth stuff. I didn't think about that.
I mean, I might be fine with it if we have to do that. It's like they're like, this mission's not unlocked yet, but let's do this side mission that kind of involves the story a little bit. So that's where you can grind out where you need to get your better gear. If they do something like that, where it still involves the story, I'll be fine with that. I wouldn't mind it too much.
Yeah, I don't want to have to grind to progress through the story. I want to play the story.
The hard missions or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with Washburn. Like, I just want to play through this story, keep that grinding stuff on the multiplayer side. Like, I'll replay a mission on multiplayer with my friends to get us all up to that power level. But like the single player game, I agree. I want to go through this. You know what I mean? And I think in the perfect world, you just play the single player missions no matter what, right? It always progresses. There is no level power cap. But at the same time, you pick that character, you switch characters every time depending on the story. And maybe that's power leveling your multiplayer aspect. I would love to see that.
Mm-hmm. And you can
I don't want to be held back.
Like you can play the campaign missions in multiplayer. Me and Kevin did this. One of the first missions in the beta is a campaign mission, and it's locked to Kamala and Hulk. So that's another thing we have to talk about is like some of these earlier game missions are going to be locked to specific characters or a specific number of characters. So like that early campaign mission that me and Kev did, it was like, this is a Kamala and Hulk mission. So if you have a third friend who wants to come in and run this with you, well, guess what? Sorry, because this mission is centered around these two characters. Another thing we ran into was when we were just running through these strike zones, these smaller missions where you're grinding, switching characters was difficult. And this will probably be alleviated when we have more than 4 characters to rotate between, but that was a little wall we hit. But I want to be able to play through the story straight through without having to worry about if I'm high enough level or not. So that's my biggest fear with this game.
I think it might be possible to do that, Washburn, because remember when we launched the game, it told us what difficulty we want to play the game at. So where we're at normal, I wonder if we put it in easy, we can just like blast through the story mode pretty easily without having to grind up our gear.
Yeah.
So that's
and I think, Kevin, I think you're right, because when you do, and you guys probably notice this too, when you do switch to a character that you have that's a lower powered level, all of the missions dip to your power level.
yeah.
Like all the missions are scaled to your power level. So they might do it right where like the missions are just going to be scaled to your power level, unless you raise that difficulty up, which would be the best way to do it, because that would allow me to just go through this story at my own pace.
I want to give a quick shout out just to Square Enix and Eidos Montreal really quick of like, we just came off of a decade of the MCU, right? Of building out the Avengers, getting everybody to know these characters as a household name. Like the idea of making this video game and how it is created, the look of it, the characters they've chosen, like this is really awesome. I'm all about the idea of this. Like I like this way more than Marvel's Ultimate Alliance. I think this is going to be a lot of fun, especially with the Avengers name tag on it. We've always seen a lot of Batman. I'm pumped up on this. I can't wait.
I was smiling as soon as the first mission. Like it's like when Black Widow's the first mission, you fight Taskmaster, and there's a sequence where Black Widow jumps on Taskmaster's back, and he's flying around the bridge, and you're a Black Widow, and it's like this big climactic sequence, and you're Black Widow, you're punching Taskmaster as he's like flying you around this Golden Gate Bridge, and sure enough, I'm just sitting here with this big dumb grin on my face, because like I love Marvel. I love that character. This stupid big dumb action sequence. It works on me. Like I'm not that hard to please. You put Black Widow in a game punching a Marvel villain and riding on his back while he's flying around, like I'm gonna be pleased with that, because that's just who I am, and I think there are probably a lot of people like me.
Bone Jangles, as someone who didn't play the beta, did you have any questions for the others?
Oh, great one.
So, Mike, you brought up Marvel Ultimate Alliance. How much does this game feel like that?
It feels completely different. I mean, in all honesty, yes, Marvel Ultimate Alliance, you could look at it and be like, well, you're just smashing square, triangle with some special moves as well, Mike, right? And I would agree with that. But that is like a top-down. The heroes are much smaller. Like, there's not as much detail. The world isn't as big. Like, for me, this felt like more of a, I don't know. I guess I could just call it like, it feels like Tomb Raider, right? Where like the character designs are really nice. You are that character. There's this big open mission world, right? That you can run around anywhere, explore the place. And instead of being these little tiny top-down characters doing the small moves, it's like I am Black Widow right here. And like Washburn said, I look over and there is a giant Hulk beating up on somebody, or I look over and there is Iron Man flying around the map. It feels much different and it looks much different than Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
You're not. I think a big part of that too is you're not switching characters on the fly. For me, I play most of Marvel Ultimate Alliance single player, and that you're allowed to just switch. Set up your team however you want it and switch certain characters on the fly. And this game, that's not the case. You go into a mission as a character, and you are that character.
You also have a bigger area, and the camera's set on you. It's not like Ultimate Alliance where you just see the whole area. You see everyone in that one spot. And like in Avengers in the game, you're just looking at yourself, finding someone else, and then if you look over to the right, far away, you can see like Iron Man having his own fight over there. So that's another cool thing I liked about that more than Ultimate Alliance. But Ultimate Alliance is still fun too. So
it's great.
I like them both.
Ultimate Alliance is extraordinarily comic booky. Like I don't know if y'all played through MUA3, but like it is a comic book. Like it is the cheesy, campy, silly comic book, and this feels like it's a little bit more in line with the cinematic universe. Where
I was going to say it feels like it's going to be like the movie is right.
Like they try to tie it into the real world and make it a little bit more quote unquote gritty. It still feels like a MCU movie, even though it's not. And we talked about this. Like as soon as you can get over the fact that these are not the MCU characters, your enjoyment level is going to skyrocket. Because if you go into this expecting to see Robert Downey Jr., it's not going to happen. This isn't that Iron Man. This isn't the same Hulk that you're used to. It's not those characters. It's a completely new, separate version. And once you accept that, like this happens in comic books all the time. So for a comic book fan, it's going to be easy. But once you do accept that this is a new version of this character, you're going to be able to enjoy it a lot more.
I'm really excited, Boney, on top of the Marvel Ultimate Alliance. It's like I'm sure they're not going to go as crazy as multiple Marvel's Ultimate Alliance of like adding characters, but it is exciting to think of like coming off of that game and seeing this. It's like, oh man, like how cool would it be if they did add in the Guardians of the Galaxy, or if they added in X, Y, and Z character? Because man, when you play this and you see the character design, you get to feel that camaraderie around with all the different characters and how they look. It's like, man, I would love to be Star-Lord, or I would love to have, you know, Gamora running around with a sword. This would be really cool. So I am excited to see what they add, you know.
Yeah, you think about this as a games as a service. Like, if somebody were to ask me, like, what do you think they're going to do for their like big Forsaken style year 1 expansion? That's where my mind goes. Like, they're just going to add Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, that's going to be their big giant expansion that totally changes up the whole game and adds like a completely new slate of characters.
Do you think they're only going to limit new characters to characters that were in the Avengers, or do you think they'll branch out to other characters?
Well, we saw it here with Kamala Khan, so I will be surprised they did in like Moon Knight or like.
Cool if they added X-Men.
Yeah, X-Men or something like that, you know.
X-Men.
So I wouldn't be surprised if that happens.
Yeah,
I wonder it will be interesting who they add.
Yeah, I would not. You got to wonder like who's going to get their shine and how much control Marvel has over those decisions, because they are coming out with a Moon Knight show. You know what I mean? They are coming out with a Falcon and Winter Soldier show. So is Marvel sitting here saying like, let's raise the awareness of these characters, let's get their names out there, put that in the back of people's minds before we release these bigger products, be it in the movie theater or on Disney Plus. So who knows? Like I said, coming out of this, I'm pretty excited for it, and I'll be back like when they do add those expansions in the future. But I don't know how much I'm going to sit and just grind it day to day after I beat that main story.
This does not feel to me, Boney, to wrap this up, this does not feel like Destiny to me, where it's like you're going to buy into this and you're going to be committed for 3 to 6 months of just grinding, you know, like when Destiny first came out and you felt that high. This did not feel like that. This felt like, hey, this world looks cool. The characters look cool. The gameplay feels good. I could definitely get behind a single player story. I could probably play 1 to 5 nights of this with my friends, but it did not feel to me where it's like, I'm going to grind this and I'm going to hit max light level and we're going to do strikes for months to come. It did not feel like that to me.
Yeah. See, that's disappointing to me.
Well, the gear's not as rewarding.
Yeah.
The gear's not as rewarding.
It's not like you're getting a new gun where the gun does something different, right? It's like you're getting new wristbands that like, you know, up her power level, but like you don't really see that. It still feels the same stuff. There is a skill tree. We do have to mind you on that, right? Like you do get new moves and stuff. So we should preference that of like, there is a skill tree that you will grind out and you'll put points into, and each character will have different move stuff. But for me personally, it didn't feel like something I was going to commit to for months on end here.
Yeah, those skill trees are very big too. Like that's a big thing, because they totally change how the characters play. Like I'm just the Iron Man one specifically, like one part, and this is just one skill tree. So they've locked you to one skill tree in the beta, and just in Iron Man's one skill tree, he had, here's this laser weapon you can just unlock, and then you can unlock rockets, and each of those has different modifiers that you can put on them, and totally changes the way that you can play and fly around and operate as Iron Man. Kamala Khan's, I know, like has a bunch of different combos in there for her that vary up the combat. I know Black Widow unlocks like automatic pistols. She has like a high caliber round that you can unlock, and each of those has trees. And that's just like in the primary skill tree, the only one that you have in the beta. So we'll see how crazy it gets when they unlock the rest of those for the full launch.
Yeah. This is also a beta too, so Bone Jangles, we don't know if it's going to feel like Destiny yet. We haven't seen the full game. So we'll wait and see, and if they do make it kind of like Destiny-esque.
If the content is there, I'll definitely want to grind it out a lot. It totally seems like my type of game.
It is a good point to end on as well. It's like no matter where you are on the fence, not sold or sold on this, like this beta is 3 weekends long. You don't really see that in many games nowadays. So like the opportunity to play this over 3 weekends and people to watch it on live streams, watch YouTube content, or even play it for themselves, this is going to be a good gauge for you to be like, am I sold on this game or not? So whatever you hear from us or other people, just know that you have 3 weeks to judge for yourself. You can't that's a pretty awesome opportunity here that we
Mhm.
don't see often, you know?
Yeah, the last weekend is totally open. And I understand people who want to watch people play a game to make a decision. I don't think you should do that with this game. I think on this last open weekend, if you're on the fence, you need to play it. Like, because I think this game is more fun than it looks. I really do think that. I think if you're watching somebody play this game, you're not getting the same amount of joy that you would get if you're Hulk and your buddy is Iron Man flying over your shoulder and you look over and you're controlling it. Like once this open beta hits, not this next weekend, but the weekend after, you got to play this game if you're trying to make a decision because it is more fun than it looks.
That's what try it. There's no harm in trying it.
For sure. Speaking of games we tried this week, we also tried Mean Green's Plastic Warfare. Snowbag Mike loved this game, so we'll just head over to Snowbag Mike to see what he has to say.
10 out of 10, huh?
Matt,
Mike? 10 out of 10?
I had an absolute great time with this. Of course, a big joy of mine is playing video games with all of you. You guys know that I love multiplayer games. And when I saw the Mean Green's Plastic Warfare on this week on Xbox, I was sold from the start, right? Like a multiplayer shooter Army Man game that reminded me of Toy Story, Sarge's Heroes, and of course, just being a kid playing with my toy Army Man. I was like, okay, I don't care what this game is. We're going to check it out at least, right? And so we'll get into the price tag. We'll get into all that. Let's just focus on the moment, right? I had an absolute blast. I think the maps and the worlds are very well thought out. I think they're very unique, and they are from a child's perspective, right? Like you're in the bathtub and they have cool zones in the bathtub. There's a fish tank level. There's a outside in the sandbox level. There's a picnic table level. There's a dining room table level. It's like everything that Sarge's Heroes back in the day did, but now on a modern era console and stage. And that's all I could ask for. I had a ton of fun. We only found about like 1 or 2 actual multiplayer matches, but the positive thing is like at least they have private matches in that, and it is a third person over the shoulder shooter. Couple of different game modes, which I liked. It does have bots in it. It looks good. There's different army men to choose from. There's different guns. I would say all in all, I like that. I liked that a lot. I enjoyed it, but the boys will bring in the actual critical eye. We'll talk about the price tag. But for me, if you like Sarge's Heroes, if you like shooters, if you like toy soldiers, this is surprisingly a fun game for me.
Yeah,
now you guys can poop on it.
No, I think the level design and the ideas of the levels where they had like different modes that weren't just the TDM or the free for all, where like the Raptors are attacking the army men, and I don't remember. There was the soccer one, the foosball table one that we played, and it seemed like every level or every couple of levels had something like that, and I thought that was ingenious and like definitely a different way to mix it up. The only thing I had issue with really was the aiming just felt a little bit off, and then when you were like aiming down sights, the speed changed so much that like I couldn't. It was hard for me to hit shots. I guess I don't know. I just didn't feel accurate, and when we were on the Jurassic Park level, it definitely chopped up a little bit when we were in the grass. But the game looks like the environments that they've built look beautiful, and it's a pretty. The devs were in the chat and they were saying that it was like a passion project of like a couple of their friends or whatever.
Yeah, 8 people making this, and
Yeah,
I mean there was some cool
looks
games.
like incredible. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, Maddox right there. Like the aiming felt weird, right? The moment you went into scope mode, all of a sudden the sensitivity shot up to where your cursor was just flying around the map. And Kevin brought it up before. It's like when we were playing, hey, this game has been on PC for like 5 years. Maybe it's more attuned and customized for PC. But like as a controller player on Xbox, the moment you scoped in with that sniper rifle, there's no way you were going to consistently hit shots. It was like a prayer if you even got close to somebody.
True.
It was tough. Really, really, really tough to maintain the aiming. Like I said, it's been on Steam for 5 years. So like I wonder if the settings were just set for like mouse and keyboard. That's why it was so sensitive. But yeah, the aiming didn't really feel right, especially when you aim down. It was just a dot, and it really threw me off. When you were aiming down the sights, and then when you were just hip firing, you couldn't really like I couldn't really tell how much of a spread it was when I was hip firing. It felt really weird. It didn't feel right. Everything else felt fun. Like the game types felt fun. Pushing the hamster was fun. Then we seen that pug and the hamster one. It was crazy. So yeah.
I think it's a good game for content. Like if there's one thing about this game that like you would take away from it, it's that it's fun. It's entertaining. You know what I mean? Like if you were to have 8 to 10 of your friends in a single match and you're playing against each other, this would be a good game for content. I think the $20 tag is a little too high, but I like it. It's not going to do us any good for me to just sit here and tear the game apart. This is a game made by 8 people, and I think they did a really good job with the talent that they had. I would be excited to see them like take this idea even further. You know what I mean? Imagine this game, and I was saying this when we were playing it. Like, imagine a game like this, same exact level design, same character design, same sort of games, but with like the shooting of the Division. You know what I mean? Like, how epic would that be? How cool would that be? So, you know, I think it was fine. I think $20 is a little too high of a price tag, and that's pretty much all I've got on it. I had a decent enough time playing it.
It would be a great Xbox Games Pass game. To be honest,
it'd be a killer Game Pass game. Like Washburn said, me, yeah, exactly. That would be a play for sure. And like Washburn said before, I let Maddox go too much. It's like the $20 price tag is just too high. Honest to God, like even for me, where I bought it for everybody, like that was too high. If you put that at $10, maybe we have a conversation. You put this on Game Pass, we're slaying it, right? Then we can go out there and tell people just to download it and try it. They did have a 30-minute trial, so you got to give them credit for that. But $20 on today's day and age console, even if it is a niche, fun, unique idea with the toy soldiers, it's just still too high for anyone because there's no single-player offerings either. Thankfully, there's bots. Like I said, the positive there is bots. So if you were alone, you could play games with bots, but like, you know, there's no single-player campaign. That's an issue.
I felt like $20 was fair. In my opinion, like I don't know. I mean, $20 is pretty cheap on its own, anyways, for this type of game. Like $15, maybe I'll go down to $15 for the lowest, but I think 20 is fine to me. So like, it's not like Rocket Arena with its $40. You know, that type of game.
Yeah, but we bought Rocket Arena for $5. Is my issue?
Yeah,
it's like what I was going to counter you with is like we bought that for $5 though.
Yeah, but we got lucky though. It was at $5.
Yeah,
or else we weren't going to buy it. True.
Like, I think as like a starting price, $20 is probably fine. It's just if you catch it on sale, I would buy it. I guess is what I'm saying.
I just think for something with no player base and very little advertising, that's a big ask.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? If they had put this game on Game Pass, the player base would have skyrocketed, and it'd be a ton more fun. And you could get all your friends in there because it's on Game Pass. But yeah, I just think for something with next to no player base and very, very little advertising, it's just $20 is a lot.
The thing with the Game Pass thing, like, I don't know how it works. Can you ask to be on Game Pass, or does Microsoft come to you to be on Game Pass?
No idea.
Because we keep throwing that out.
I'm sure that works. I'm sure that works both ways. You know what I mean? With how big Game Pass is, I don't think it's just Microsoft coming to you. I'm sure they have headhunters out there looking for unknown talent or certain games, and they're reaching out to people, and you're also reaching out to them of like, hey, I got a great title here. Just come check it out, and they'll tell you yes or no.
I just feel like there'd be a lot more games
popular,
on Game Pass.
Kind of funny Xcast. I thought you would know the answer to that question.
Oh yeah, exactly. You know what? I should have asked Major Nelson that question. Dang it! I'll next time I get a moment with somebody like that, I will ask him.
I'll ask him.
Maybe Phil Spencer.
Phil Spencer. I'll ask him, and then someone else will take credit for the question I asked. So don't worry.
I like that. I like that.
Bengals
came up with this question.
Yeah.
I'll take credit. With it to ask Phil Spencer on Animal Talking.
I like that. Maybe I will.
Mike,
Matt, what did you think of this? Tell me, Boney.
We know you have Phil Spencer on speed dial.
I might be speaking with him soon. Who knows?
I think I gave my thoughts already. It's just, you know, it's a decent game, and I think the creativity is great.
Yeah, the creativity, let's take a moment really quick, right? We were in the fish tank. with like low to zero G physics, right? Where you could jump up super high, had some really cool looks to it. You had the outdoor rip-off Jurassic Park one, right? With like the composer who Washburn, what's the composer? The guy who's working on Halo
Coker.
Infinite as well?
Gareth Coker.
That was pretty cool.
That's massive.
That's massive. And then there's like plastic raptors that are like hunting you, which was super cool. They all have their unique, play style. And we didn't even see one where like there's one game mode where there's frozen Tyrannosaurus Rexes in a block of ice, and your goal is to get to the other team's side and melt it down with the flamethrower with your homies. Like that's awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
I played that. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
We played the hamster ball one though. The hamster
ball one was dope. That D&D tabletop game one was dope where we were running around. Like the maps are very creative. The game modes are cool. The player base is very limited, especially for that price tag. It was day one on Xbox. Let's mind you that, right? With no marketing at all. So, it was interesting. But I think all in all for me, that struck a chord for me. That hit the nostalgia factor for me. And I think Washburn is right? Like that's a talented team of 8 people that created something cool. What if we build off of that? What could we build off of this? Could we make a single player campaign? Could we somehow get on Game Pass or, maybe do a sale and get more people? How do we get more eyes on it? And, refine up that shooting mechanic a little bit, but make this something bigger than it is, because there is no toy soldier plastic warfare games anymore. That kind of went away back in the late 90s, early 2000s. So how do we get that back in the genre?
For sure.
The big question is, the big question, Bone Jangles, what do you think of it?
Bone Jangles.
Did you like what you saw? Are you going to buy it or?
I'm not going to buy it.
Darn.
That's for sure.
Darn.
It looked fine though. It looks like something I would play probably if I was younger. Give it to the kids and play maybe, but
I remember playing Sarge's Heroes as a
same.
kid and flame throwing a guy to death.
Yeah,
and my parents coming in and being like, "What are you doing? This is supposed to be like an innocent army man game, and you're here melting this guy with the flamethrower, and he's screaming in agony." And like, it's just that goofy. It's goofy. It's just so goofy, and like that's part of the charm of this game is just like, oh, this is silly and fun, and like it's not gonna revolutionize anything, but like the design of it and the fact that you're a little army man running around, it makes it fun. It's easy to smile at something like that.
So it's a no-go for Bone Jangles.
I'm glad we played it. You guys, after you guys talked about this, I'm glad we played it. That definitely brought a smile to my face. Even if the little we played ever again, like I'm glad that we checked this out, supported that development team, and had shared a moment together. Like that was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Before we get to the game of the week, Fall Guys, we're going to talk a little bit about Warzone Season 5. I know that we all hopped in quite a bit. I don't know about Mr. Bone Jangles over there. Maybe no. Where he's giving us the head shake. Okay.
It's crazy, all right. I'm telling you right now, it's crazy. Dude. Dinosaurs all over the place now.
That would be incredible.
That would be incredible. Make Far Cry Jurassic Park, you cowards. Do it. Jesus.
So for the quick rundown on what happened in Season 5, we have a new battle pass, of course, a new operators and 2 new weapons, a submachine gun and a assault rifle. We had the big thing, I would say probably the most exciting thing is the map changes that have gone into effect. We have the stadium opening, the train station has an interior, there's a train that goes around the map, and there are exterior ascenders to all the buildings, so you can get those rooftop Randys, because we don't like them. We don't like them at all. They added a temporary mode right now. It's mini battle royale. I did not try that one. It looks kind of cool though. It's a little bit faster. And then the in-game events that we've spoken of previously, they've added Juggernaut drops, which we used and abused the other day. It was quite a time, to say the least. I'm sure we'll get into that. And there is BR solo buybacks right now as well. I've played a bit of that. And the last 2 big things, I guess, are the Gulag is going to be rotating weapons from now on. It starts out with shotguns and pistols. And there's, of course, new ground loot. And they've switched all the weapons on the ground that you find. And they mentioned that there will be a weapons tuning patch coming in the future because they did not make any adjustments to weapon strengths or weaknesses. And then there's also been some event teasers for the Call of Duty Black Ops / Cold War scenario that is apparently being announced on August 10th, which is tomorrow, I guess.
Or today, if you're listening to
Monday.
this,
Yeah,
depending on when I
yeah.
upload it, you know.
Tomorrow at noon Pacific time, I believe. All right, so what is I guess for the rest of us, besides Mr. Bone Jangles here, what is your favorite change of Season 5 so far? We'll start with Kevin Ace X.
Stadium opened up.
Stadium.
Boom, you know, big hole,
Mhm.
jumping into it. Boom, 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 boom. You know, up in the balconies or whatever they call them. You know,
Pow, 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 pow.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, boom, and the 2 helicopters there. Oh no, 2 helicopters. What's Mike gonna do?
Oh my God, I'm dying by the soccer goal. Save me,
Oh, no.
Washburn. Oh my God, it's crazy.
It's awesome. I like Stadium having just finally opened up and actually be useful. Because other than that, it was just a wall in the way sometimes when we're trying to get to the circle. But yeah, I like it now, and the interior is cool. It's a soccer field. I was hoping to be like a speedball type of place, and, and
Mike just won Fall Guys.
Mike,
I'm playing Fall Guys.
Mike, hold on, Mike. We're not there yet.
I'm back-to-back champion. All right, keep going.
Stadium was cool. Yeah, the interior is awesome. I like that. That's the best part I like about the new update so far. And the train's cool too. The train station, like interior stuff, it's all right. I don't know how often we'll be in there.
But
It's kind of small. Yeah, it's
I
kind of
think
small.
when you have to rotate through there, it'll be interesting.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. We haven't been in there lately, so it's been cool. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I love Stadium. I think it's
I love
like
Stadium
they
as well.
did such a good job with that. And I think something that's super cool about it, like Kevin said, it used to just be a wall that was in the way. And now you can just go through it. Like we were playing a game, it wasn't last night, a couple nights ago, I think. And we were running in towards the circle and Stadium was like in our way. And it was just like, oh, let's go through it because we can now. And like, that's super cool. Landing there right now, it's hard to get a feel for it because everybody's landing there. But I think they did exactly what they needed to do for season 5 overall. Adding the train, that sort of moving element, even though it's, it turned out to not be that big of a deal. It's just kind of there.
I think the thing with the train is that it starts in the same spot every time, and that kind of doesn't
that's
mix
gotta
it up
change.
as much.
Yeah, that's got to change. But I think opening up the stadium, opening up train station, that's what we want as players, right? We want you to give us something that's fresh. You're not changing the game on us, but you are giving us just enough to keep us coming back. And I'm hoping that they can do this sort of thing throughout season 5. Open up more stuff, finish the construction zone. Do these little small changes like opening up train stations specifically that gives us new areas to explore and doesn't have to be a game breaking update. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I haven't really tried the new guns yet, so I can't really speak on those, but it just the map changes specifically, especially the exterior, whatever they're called,
Ascenders.
exterior ascenders. Like that's a really, really cool change that just adds to the momentum and the speed of the game and in a really creative way. So yeah, I'm really, really enjoying season 5 and all the changes so far.
I'll stick with everybody before we change off the map really quick. And I want to echo everybody's sentiment. The map changes are perfect, especially coming into this, right? We've all talked about it. I didn't really want the map to change at all. I really enjoyed the map. I think they have a very well-designed map. And of course, there's small things that, you can add to, but like Washburn said, right? They did a perfect job at keeping it very tight, very similar, but adding some pieces that make it feel very fresh, right? You're looking at a train that moves. You're looking at Stadium, which, I'm going to dive a little bit deeper on Stadium because I think it is above and beyond what you could have expected. Train station is very nice. I would have liked to seen the whole train station completed like that. I think they only did half to a quarter of it, but it is very cool when you go in there. It feels like a metro station, train station, mini mall type feel, and that is a perfect look in that area. They should have done the whole thing. I don't know why they didn't, but the Ascenders, now bring a new game feel, right? Like where we used to just sit up on top of the rooftop, put 2 claymores on the doors and just sit there and snipe for minutes on end. Now it's like, hey, if that team really wants to, they're going to take this Ascender up and it's going to cause some problems here. So I love that. Stadium, wow. I mean, can we talk about that? A parking garage, a main concourse, a field that is well designed, that feels like its own mini 2v2 map that me and Kevin talked about before, right? And then on top of that, there's 2 helicopters in there. There's a VIP level, a nosebleed level. Like, there is some really cool stuff where, like, if you really take a moment and think about Stadium and what they could have done, which is like the easy one of like, oh, we just opened up the top. There's like one like mini concourse and you just run through it, to like what they did with the seating and the vibe of it all. Absolutely incredible. Got to give all the love to that development team. My only complaint is I wish they went a little bit further. And I understand why they didn't, because it keeps it tight. It keeps it moving. But like that second story with the VIP concourse, that should be opened up. That should be able to be runnable. The nosebleed section, you can only access the nosebleed section from the outside ascenders up outside of the building. And there's really nothing going on in there, except there is some locked VIP booths that we haven't got into. So I'll give them that. But the only way to get in from the field itself is if you land on the nosebleeds and go through the scorer's box. Other than that, you can't actually access the nosebleeds unless you go up those ascenders, which is kind of odd to me. I wish they elevated it just a little bit more. Elevators, good call, Kevin, inside. But like, I wish we did so great on a basement, main concourse, field, and then the just 2 top sections just feel like nothing's there. Just kind of feels bland, you know?
There isn't very much loot in the stands in general, I would say, but they did an excellent job with it. I'm super excited to, like, when it gets later into the season, to land there a little bit more often probably, and then also see what happens when a game ends there, or you're passing through mid game or mid to late game.
Yeah, that's a great point.
That's going to switch up the whole feel of that, where before you'd run around the outside and you wouldn't have to worry about people. You could hide against the doors, and you're not going to have that anymore. You're not going to have that safety.
Yeah.
So that's definitely going to switch it up a bit.
They should put loot on the stands, like similar to PUBG when we used to go to Pacquiao with the boxing arena and they had guns just scoured throughout the seats and stuff. They might need to look at that, because I will say, if you land on the seats, or if you really go over there, there may be a couple, Kevin, but like there's not enough. It feels like you have to be in the concourse or in the field to really be able to fight here. For me,
like they don't want to have too much weapons in the area already. Yeah, because you already have the field filled with some guns, and then you have the concourse and like where the food area is at too, where there's guns too. So I feel like they don't want to have
oversaturate the loot.
Maybe it's right for them thinking later on, right? Week 1, everybody and their mother's there, so it feels light. Maybe week 5, when people stop dropping there every time, maybe that is the perfect amount of loot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think so right now on that VIP section up a little bit higher than the main concourse, a lot of those rooms are locked behind like a code or a key card or whatever. I think once that's done, and that will be done, like I think that they're going to take that away. And once they do take that away and they open up some of those rooms, it might open up those upper sections a little bit more. What I love about Stadium is just how big it feels. And I compare it to, being born and raised in DFW and going into the new Cowboy Stadium for the first time. And you walk in and you're like, there's no way it can look as big as it does from the outside once you go inside. And it does. It's the same thing here. Like when you walk in the stadium, you're like, oh shit, this is a big place. Like this is big. And I think, that sort of sense of scale, they did a really good job with it. And they will open up, I think, those upper levels a little bit more after this Black Ops stuff is done and there's no more code cards and people are sort of over those Easter egg type of gimmicky things. But I'm really enjoying it, and I really like what they did with it.
Matlock, you're my gun master. Let's talk about the guns on the ground really quick, because like for me right now, I'm noticing a lot less NP7s on the ground and I'm seeing a lot more Uzis, and I'm not a fan of that. I think you guys started to touch on the Uzis and talk about it towards the end of that season just recently. But like for me, right? I was really enjoying. If you drop an MP7 on the ground early game, I'm grabbing that and I'm clapping on people, right? Now it's like now I see an Uzi on the ground, I see some other guns, and like the ground loot for me right now is not hitting the mark that I need it to. I'm not vibing with the ground loot.
Yeah, it's interesting because I picked up a lot of sniper rifles that have 1x or hybrid scopes on them this time, which is a different choice, I would say, than their the marksman, especially with the marksman rifles. And then I mean, it's hard to get a feel for it until like you've played for like a really long time, because then you know like which guns are green, which guns are blue, and like which ones you vibe with exactly. But right now, like I think there's more P90s and Uzis than there are MP7s, and I like the P90. That's a good one. So far it's been like decent, I guess, for me. I don't know how anyone else feels. I don't feel like it's too terrible usually. None of the guns like really stand out or are absolute trash.
It doesn't feel seismic like the one time where like we went, I don't know, maybe it was 2 to 3, where like all of a sudden I felt like, oh my God, what are all these guns here? I don't vibe with any of them. It feels very slight with the change. And you'll notice it if you play it every day like we do, but like it doesn't feel seismic. That's a positive there for me.
Yeah,
sure.
ground loot is ground loot. Like that's how I've always sort of felt about it. Like I'm not gonna be in love with any gun I pick up off the ground. I think there are a couple more snipers right now. I think there are a couple more SMGs. They took out some of those thermal options from last season that
there was a lot
that
of
I hated. The Odin's back, and the Odin is worthless. Like I just ground loot's always going to be ground loot, and I think the goal of Warzone is to get that loadout as quickly and efficiently as possible, at least for us.
Yep. And I've tried out the 2 new guns they have added. I like the SMG so far. I won a game of buyback solos earlier today with it. I got 8 kills, so it was decent, I would say. And then the assault rifle is, from what I've picked it up like a few times, the N94. It's really good. I think it might be the move for a little while at least. We'll see after they make gun adjustments in a future patch, probably here in the next 2 weeks would be my guess. We'll see whether it sticks to being one of the stronger weapons or not.
I mean, I think they got to buff the growl. I'm out here yelling it from the rooftops. I'm a man of the people. I'm just out here like, man, maybe they should buff the growl bone jangles, because I'm out here like, I see a lot of Bruin boys, and I see them just throttling me in the Warzone. And I'm like, man, do you remember back in the day when the growl used to be that? Like, let's make that meta back again. Let's bring that meta back, baby.
You know what I'm saying? Watch Bruin boys, it's so easy. Just 2-shot people.
I love the Bruin.
Oof, so fun.
I mean, let's be real with each other, Kevin. Do you see the Bruin getting a buff, or a damage reduction here?
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
But I wish it doesn't become too weak from the growl, because the growl didn't get nerfed at all. Growl supposedly they nerfed it, but it didn't do anything to it.
There's a slight change. You can definitely feel a slight change with the growl.
You can readjust with that, though.
Yeah, you can readjust, but it's definitely, when I say slight change, I mean like the growl is not what it used to be, and people can tell you that. Like if you use it every day, like I do, from what we saw in that season 3, where like everybody and their mother was running the growl combo, like. It feels different where it's like, now you're questioning like, man, am I supposed to be changing? Because this is kind of like, it almost feels like a pea shooter now, Kevin.
Time to switch it up, Mike. Time to switch it up.
I'm worried about it. Will the Bruin stick around for longer? Because it feels like it's only been a week or 2, but it's dominated the Warzone.
Let me tell you this, Mike. If the Bruin gets nerfed, there's other guns better than the growl and a bit suckier than the Bruin. So there's gonna be other guns that's gonna be better than the growl. I know
I know that the growl's not gonna come back to dominance. I just mean like, when are we getting the Bruin out of rotation, or is this the move? My only downfall of the Bruin is you have to unlock it, and when I say unlock it, it's a special unlock. It's not like leveling up with the other weapons. That's the catch that I'm not a fan of.
I mean, I'm fine for unlocking it. It's just that challenge to unlock it was tough. That was only problem.
It's too long.
What was the challenge?
It was get 3 kills near smoke for 15 games.
15 times.
Yeah.
Oh, 15 times.
Now,
Yeah,
shouldn't that be an issue? Shouldn't that be the conversation piece?
acceptable.
I mean,
but-
I already did it, Mike. So
Yeah, I know it's easy for you, but like, isn't the conversation piece now like the general audience, A, might not even know how to unlock the Bruin, 2, might not be able to unlock the Bruin. Does that give a different, I don't, what would you call that? Like more, is that ruining the balance for players like me and others that might not be able to, maybe I'm not the best example, but like regular Rudy Kajudi over here who works hard and then comes home to play this can't unlock it. Like, is that an issue? Is that an issue we're having right now?
I don't think regular Rudy Kajudi, who's playing in the Warzone, really cares.
You don't think he
like,
cares about getting
I don't
throttled by the Bruin?
I don't think regular Rudy is sitting at home looking at what's Nick Merckx running.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean?
Rudy's feeling the punishment. Rudy's got to be out there like, why is Bone Jangles throttling me with this gun? He walks up, he picks it up, he goes, I've never seen this gun before. What's up with this?
At that point, don't you think Rudy Kajudi would just look at how to unlock Bruin and just unlock the Bruin?
I mean, maybe.
Also,
I'm just saying, it's like, has there ever been a moment where we've seen a gun like this where you have to unlock it through unconventional means? That's where I'm really getting at.
Mm-hmm.
What is the gun?
There's a sniper right now that you have
sniper.
Right.
Sniper, okay.
Yeah. There might have been one other. I don't really remember.
Crossbow, maybe? I don't know if you really care about
the the crossbow was weird.
Was like that.
And,
Yeah,
the crossbow's meaningless. Nobody's running crossbow.
Personally, I think they've done a really good job balancing the weapons, and I know the Bruin is strong right now. It'll get nerfed.
Yeah.
But like I think that they've done a really good job balancing the weapons. I think somebody can be just as lethal with a properly kitted M4 as you can with the Bruin if you're aiming correctly. I see a lot of people running the Kilo right now.
Mm-hmm.
And that gun is tearing people up in the Warzone. It just depends on how you want to build and how you want to play the game. But the Bruin's going to get nerfed. The Bruin is strong. There's no doubt about that. So I think once they do nerf that Bruin, the question just becomes, what's the next gun? What's the next meta? You see a lot of people running the FAL right now.
Yeah.
Will the AN-94, the new assault rifle, become the new meta? I don't know.
I think so.
Also, this
If
Bruin...
the Bruin gets nerfed, I think it might be.
Yeah. Also, this Bruin has been in the rotation for a long time because you were able to unlock this like 2 seasons ago. So I guess if you unlock it by now, then I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Yo, what about that mini battle royale though? Let's touch on that. Because that's dope.
That's so
Kevin,
it's so
what did you
fast
think,
paced,
boys?
dude. It's so fast paced. I can't keep up sometimes.
The idea is very novel, is right, Kevin. Tell them about it.
Yeah, because you pretty much it's already I think it's like the 3rd circle in already, and like you're dropping in. There's still some space left outside the circle, so you can drop in outside the circle. But like, I feel like it's like 30 seconds after the game starts, the loadout drops. So like everyone's just gun ho and just going at it and trying to kill each other. So yeah, it gets pretty crazy towards the end. I mean, towards the beginning at least. So yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think about it?
It's sweet. I like the idea of instead of a 30 to 40 minute game, you're going to have a 15 to 20 minute game. It's going to be fast. It's going to be furious. They're going to take you to different parts of the map that you might not normally drop at and or travel through, which I think is really exciting. It gives a new perspective to showcase pieces of the map. Sure, I wish it maybe had a little bit more of an algorithm heavy of like, let's showcase more stadium. Let's showcase more train station, But I will say, it is really fun. I like the smaller number. I like how fast paced it is. My only downfall is a lot of the time when this circle picks the map, if you get an early one where it only has one larger point of interest and a lot of open field, you're going to have a big problem at the beginning of the game because it's going to be everybody in that little military base. And then there's going to be mountainside and you have to choose, like, are you fighting through all this? Or are you sitting back and like hanging out, hiding in the mountain, essentially, because there is nowhere else to loot in this.
I think it's fun. I like this little mini royale. And I said to you guys when we were playing it, like, if they're going to pick one of these little game modes to make permanent alongside Plunder, this would be my choice because it's a lot faster. You get in, you get out. Sometimes games of Warzone, when you're running down to the last 2 or 3 squads, can be 30 to 45 minutes. And I feel like this mini royale just sort of cuts that in half. So I think it's a good little game mode, and Yeah, it all depends on where the circle is. But I don't think they're just going to put a circle in an open field. I think they know that with these smaller starting areas, they need to place them around points of interest, and I'm sure that they've worked that in.
All right, so before we move on to Fall Guys, we have one last thing to touch on. Mike, would you like to paint us a word picture about Juggernauts dropping into the Warzone and what happened to us the other night?
Yeah, I'll paint the picture of what happened there. So, of course, we all know from season 4 there was in-game events that happened with the fire sale, the jailbreak, and the supply helicopters. Well, throughout season 4, towards the end of it, they decided to create what was called Juggernaut Royale, which essentially is throughout a normal game mode, they would drop Juggernaut suits. And of course, if you've played Call of Duty, you know what the Juggernaut is. If you haven't, it is a guy in a giant armored suit with a minigun that is almost unstoppable. You really have to team up and get lucky to defeat one of these guys in this suit. And so right there was that the beginning of season 5, Maddock?
Yep.
So the beginning of season 5, us and the guys are playing it. And there we are. It's down to the final 10 people. It felt like 10 people, maybe 20 people. We were in the final couple circles and they dropped 3 Juggernaut suits in the, what would essentially be the final end here. And we were lucky enough to run down the way, get one of them, secure that suit, and somehow there was a second suit that dropped probably 50 yards in front of that suit, and we were able to double up and put Kevin and Maddock in a suit, or Kevin and Washburn, one of you guys. We had 2 people in a suit.
Mm-hmm.
Maddock and Washburn in a suit, Mike and Kevin on foot versus what it was 2 squads of 4, right? We had these kids dead to rights.
Remember, at that moment, I wasn't even in the game. I mean, I was dead when you guys got the 2 suits.
You picked up the most wanted contract.
Exactly. And so the catch is, it's like when you're playing the Juggernaut Royale, you see where the Juggernauts are. They are exposed on the map at all times, similar to a Crown, where no matter what these teams saw us, but the catch is I think they finally figured out, like, these 2 Juggernauts are working together because they just kept standing next to each other. And it was us versus 2 other squads outside of Boneyard. And we forced their hand. They had to come to us. And I told these guys, like, just keep destroying them. And there's Maddock, there's Washburn, 200 rounds in a minigun. That's 400 bullets. And they're just sweeping the field like this back and forth. The easiest win we've ever had. And the best part was we celebrate the win. And not 10 seconds later, Activision comes out with a tweet like, hey, we've stopped the Juggernaut Royale inside of this game mode. That won't happen anymore.
They changed it so that there was only 1 Juggernaut per event.
Yeah.
So you won't be able to just get 2. But it was like while we were in the game, it got patched.
Yeah, it was wild. I mean, very cool, very fun. I do want to say, like, we're still not seeing a lot of those in-game events, right? And I don't know if I want them every single game, but, like, at the rate that we're seeing, I would like to see them buffed up a little bit.
I would like
every 4 games, I should see 2 out of the 4.
25%?
Yeah,
33% would be nice.
50% would be better for me. Like, let's get these in-game events going. That's why we put them in. Let's showcase them. Let's go.
Bone Jangles. So far from you, what you heard from season 5, which one excites you the most?
Stadium. Open stadium. That is what's going to bring me back.
Ooh.
So that's what makes me want to jump back in the stadium. It's about time they opened it. Our first episode we were talking about.
Yeah.
I was hoping for them to open it up. It's finally here. 10 episodes later. They finally opened it.
10 weeks later, not bad.
They
10
listened
weeks,
to us,
not
dude.
bad.
They listened to us and they did it.
Thanks,
Not
Inception. We appreciate you.
Not a fan of the pistols being back in Gulag.
But
Kinda scared.
they rotate every week, so you won't get them.
They should be out by Tuesday of this week, I would assume.
Yeah.
Oh, I
With
see.
the update.
Every week
The
they give us
playlist
a new
update.
set. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Assault rifles are just as bad for me.
I can't wait.
Oh, assault
Get them
rifles
back,
are
baby.
by
Put them
assault
back.
We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we will. All right. And rounding out our topics for the week, we have everyone's favorite hilarious bean-based game, Fall Guys. Fall Guys is, based on their description, a massively multiplayer party game with up to 60 players in an online free-for-all struggle through round after round of escalating chaos until one victor remains. You can team up though, so there's that. Anyone want to I mean, but let's start with
Let's
Bone
get
Jacob.
Boney. Yeah.
Let's get
Yeah.
Born Jails.
Boney,
The
would you
master.
love to talk about your new favorite esport, Fall Guys?
This is 100% my favorite esport. It's my favorite game of the year.
Yeah.
I'm loving everything about it. The colors, the skins, all the customization options. It's all the courses except for the team matches. I have a lot of fun with. I'm starting to feel more comfortable on a lot of the courses, especially what's the one for the final crown, the aggro crag? What's that one
All
called?
Mountain.
All Mountain.
Yes.
Fall Mountain.
Starting to feel way more confident in that. If I could get a nice clean run when I'm on that course, I'm 100% going to get the crown. The team battles have been super tough. I've had multiple streaks broken just because your teammates can be so bad at those games. But I'm having a lot of fun with it. Definitely my favorite game of the year so far.
I mean, yeah, we've talked about it for 3 weeks now.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true.
I mean, what's there to say that hasn't been said? This is a smash hit. It's a global phenomenon. It's so big, and it's even bigger than I thought it was going to be. Like,
yeah,
we knew this was going to be big when we played the beta, and I think it's even surpassed that expectation. This game is huge. The game itself's not huge. The phenomenon is huge, and it's deservedly so. I think it's a ton of fun. It's easily on shortlist for game of the year, top 5. I would say top 5, top 10 easily. And I'm having a ton of fun every time we boot this game up. I have fun. And I think that's why I play video games. You know what I mean? It's just that easy to get into a game and get squatted up with your buddies and run these silly rounds. It's Gang Beast mixed with Wipeout, and like that's what you want. It is so much fun, and I'm still loving it. We did play on PS4 a little bit this week, and it is a little bit different. There's some graphic options that you don't get on that console, which makes it look a little bit washed out, bloomy. But I'm still loving it. I don't know what else to say about it because I just feel like I'm so high on this game, and I'm just a broken record about how good this game is.
Good. You should be, because it deserves that credit. I'll be straight up with people. This is the game of the year. This is the game of the year because when you look around social media, you really think about this. I always stress fun, easy party mode games that is family friendly and everyone on the family can understand and play. And Fall Guys is just that. I think if you came out with Fall Guys during the same time, I know this is going to sound crazy, but this is my personal preference. If you came out with Fall Guys in March during the dead heat of COVID against Animal Crossing, you would have a big issue because this would eat Animal Crossing's lunch. Because the catch is here, Washburn, I know you're shaking your head. Animal Crossing is great. Animal Crossing is exciting. Animal Crossing blew up due to COVID, and it is a good game. I'll give them that. But this game is way better. This game gets all audiences. It's not just one audience that like that cute animal, that world building. This game gets your grandmother, your son, your daughter, your aunt, your uncle. Every single person in the family sees this. Local Starbucks baristas. This gets that game. Bone Jangles, do you agree with? Are you feeling this hype?
Yeah, it's easier to pick up than Animal Crossing. There's way more to Animal Crossing. I truly believe anybody that has never played a video game could play Fall Guys and be into it.
Right here. This game is killing it, and it came out at a great time at the end of summer. But if this game came out March, April, if this came out anywhere between March, April, May, this thing would be so big that their servers would never be online if we were in the heart of COVID like Animal Crossing.
Don't you think it's big enough right now, anyways? Or
I think it's
still
massive.
in the heart of COVID.
I know some people don't think we are,
because a bunch of jabronis are outside and they're not doing it like we're supposed to. Is right, but like when it was March and April and you were really not allowed to leave your house and people were actually taking it seriously when Animal Crossing hit big. Like imagine Fall Guys then. This would have the world would have burned for Fall Guys. That's how crazy this is.
Even it coming out now is perfect.
Yeah,
we've got all the big exclusives are out already. People have beat those. well, some people haven't beat them all, but we're coming off the backs of The Last of Us 2, Ghost of Tsushima. There's really not a big game coming until September. So I think this hit at the perfect time.
The fact that it's on PS Plus and the fact that they had a beta just like increased the profile of this game so enormously that it broke the servers constantly all week long. And I feel so bad for those guys. That's got to be so tough. It surpassed their expectations for maximum players in like the first day that it came out. So it's just gone like skyrocketing from there. And they're definitely a small team, and it's definitely like an indie developer. Like that's tough for sure. But they've managed to get it back up and working a lot of the time, and shout out to them big time.
Yeah, I think both of your points are spot on. I think especially Bone Jangles, the release window for this game is perfect. People are just beating Ghost of Tsushima. We don't have another big release till Avengers, and then after that, Cyberpunk. And so for this to drop right now is perfect timing. And then, like Maddox said, the PS Plus. Think about what PS Plus did for Rocket League. You know what I mean? And it's doing the same thing for this game. And the reason that that's true is because both games are stellar. A lot of times you get new games on PS Plus that just don't have that sort of traction because it's not Fall Guys, it's not Rocket League.
Yeah.
And like if you just look at Twitter right now, like you'd have to be living under a rock to not at least have seen these stupid little jelly beans running around and ask yourself like what is this? What is that?
Senior social media manager.
Yeah, they're killing it on Twitter. And like we talked about it, I think last week, like I would pay too much money to like get one of those freaking jelly bean costumes.
Yeah, the full mascot outfit.
Yeah. It would be like, oh my God. Incredible. But I mean, yeah, it's just, again, I sound like a broken record. This game is incredible. Like it's going to be in my top 10 games of the year. It's probably, I don't know if anything will outdo Final Fantasy VII for me, but like, this is like just this little tiny indie game. You know what I mean? To come out and make a splash this big and light up the internet this much it's a big deal.
Big deal. And they got a killer storefront that you can buy things on. Cute. Everything is super cute. It's super colorful. It appeals to all ages. And like, this is the Mike Howard game. This is what I want all the time. And I will tell you, as a big Xbox guy, it's a huge miss not on Xbox. I don't know if Sony paid a lot of money to ensure that it wasn't on there or whatever the restrictions may be. We don't know the back end business deals, but I'll tell you this right now. If I was Xbox and Microsoft, I would be kicking whoever messed this deal up in the ass right now, because this is huge not to be on Xbox. It's a big deal.
For those of you not watching on video, you should know that Mike has been playing this game the entire podcast.
Still playing?
I might be the entire podcast.
I want everybody to know that during this podcast, I won a Hex game, folks. Okay, that's the hardest game. I about that in the moment. I won a Hex game, demandingly too. It wasn't like, oh, Mike's on the bottom level. I was 3 levels above this guy, Washburn, eating his lunch, bro, just destroying this kid.
Hex is my favorite.
Just saying, Mike, if we didn't see it, it never happened, dude. They didn't take a video of it, and it don't happen.
No video.
That's why I will say they need to get a stat tracker up in here immediately, because you get
need to fix the names.
Yeah, stat tracker wins got to be, or names got to be fixed. We got to figure this out right away. But man, for this week, for this to finally be out, like this is bananas. This is it right here.
Yeah, I was expecting it to be popular, but I didn't realize it was going to be this popular, to be honest.
Same here.
Yeah, it's massive. And like they can't sit on that. You know what I mean? They got to start getting new stuff in pronto. Yep. Like I want to see some new courses. I want to see some new levels, but like if not by the end of next week, then the week after that. Like I need to see something new.
I agree with Washburn. If I was these guys, I'm looking at everybody like we need a new game mode every single week or every 2 weeks. Like there's no resting. There's no looking back and saying, oh, we're good. There's a new level. There's a new game mode every single week for people to stay up on, because like Washburn alluded to, right? Like this might not be the biggest, because once you play these, you've played them, right? Like there's nothing new here once you do the 25. But if you added new ones, you're rocking here. You're rocking.
Yeah. So like I'd be interested to just ask you guys. My favorite is Hex. What's y'all's favorite minigame in the whole thing?
I haven't played Hex enough for it to be my favorite somehow.
What are you talking about? Just overall, the favorite
Just overall, what's your favorite level in Fall Guys?
The slime climb. I love
Slime
seesaws, and
climb.
you guys
Yeah.
know
Slime
that.
is good.
But slime climb is the best one because it does push you, right? Like you cannot rest in slime climb. It is fun. It is unique, and I love the shortcuts. I love the different map variations. But like on slime climb, you feel like I gotta move, And I think a lot of them you feel that way, but like that one really is like somebody's behind you poking you, like you need to move forward right now.
It feels like it should be a final round for the crown.
Yeah.
If you made that like 3 times bigger, Bone Jangles, you could really make a cool final on that one.
Because that one's almost harder than the
Fall
I think
Mountain.
harder than-
Aggro Crab.
Yeah.
Fall Mountain's just like you just have to be perfect. You have to do perfect run to like win.
You have to be perfect. Have to be perfect on Fall Mountain because it is so close. The best is seeing everybody miss the crown at the end, though. Like that's the only one in the finale where like you can straight up mess that up if you didn't know you had to grab that.
Like
And
Andy.
still to this day, people didn't know that. You know what I mean? People still don't know
R.I.P.
that.
Andy Cortez.
Man, you missed it.
My favorite is probably DoorDash because if you get out in front and you feel like so powerful and you're like, oh, I got this, and you like try and run through the door and you nail it, you're like, yes.
There's nothing better than the sound of you messing up, Maddox. Like, have you really embraced that? Where like
it's
just
so
like you
good.
said, you're in the front, you're like, I'm dominating this, and you get 2-3 doors down, and you're like, oh yeah, look at me, I'm a mastermind. And that one when you freaking you jump head first, and it's the best, bro. It reminds me of when I'm in the helicopter and I think I'm dominating, and then the moment it's like I crash, and all you hear is like, it's like, oh dang it, like that sucks,
Yeah, it's really good. I like all the races.
All the
Yeah,
races
for
are
sure.
good.
Yeah.
I like
Except for Seesaw. You don't like Seesaw sometimes.
I like
What do you
Seesaw.
like
I
about
think
it?
Seesaw's my favorite.
What's Kev? What do you like?
the hole in the wall. So easy, Easy.
Oh,
peasy,
Block Party.
Kevin's a
No.
cheater. Don't listen to Kevin. He's a
Easy
cheater.
peasy.
Yeah, they gotta
will
take
tell
it
you-
out.
I'm going to tell you one thing on Hole in the Wall. There is a part in Hole in the Wall that I know maybe you guys have seen on your own, but like when we stream, we have not seen because Hole in the Wall now starts to build actual like walls coming at you. And I know it's a weird thing to say, but like if you can imagine, they build a box that will come towards you and catch you in there
Sweet.
that we haven't seen in the stream where it's like you see 2 sides, but then all of a sudden there's a back one that comes together and it will actually like you can't be in that little zone. We haven't seen that on stream, but I've seen it with other kids before.
I think I've seen that one too. Not on
Yeah,
stream,
it's
though.
totally a different variation that like oddly enough, and we've streamed a lot of it. We haven't seen it all, but I saw Grand Pooh Bear, I saw Gary, I saw Barrett of like, here comes the 2 walls on the side, and then there's one behind it, and it makes an area where like you can't even be inside of that or you're dead.
I'm gonna see that. I'm gonna see how hard it is. I mean, it's pretty easy for me, anyways. So that whole
Yeah,
level is.
I mean, let's talk about that, Kevin. That is pretty dope, though, right? Like, yeah, you can jump up on the side.
Yeah, you told me. You're the one who told me about it. And we were trying to get it last time, and then like when I actually got it, I just tried it once, just for the hell of it, and I was like, "Oh, I got up there." That was that was crazy.
I know Pooh and his homies were doing it. It looks like you have to get up on the left or right wall. One of your buddies just stands there, and you just try to bounce off their jelly bean head, and all of a sudden, now you're up on top of the walls where nothing can happen to you, right? You just stand there the whole time and you win, which is, I mean, super cool. Not many people get actually eliminated from that game mode.
Yeah.
I say that with a smirk on my face, knowing I've been eliminated from that game mode, and I'm sure a lot of people get eliminated. But like when you're in that feels like the fruit match, where it's like, okay, man, 2 or 3 people are actually going to get eliminated from this. You know what I mean?
That's what I was about to say. Like,
And the
it's
Rolly
fruit,
one.
Yeah, fruit match, the Rolly one, and Block Party. The survival games, I feel like they're not knocking out enough people. Like, it would be nice to see some of these survival matches start to really trim down these lobbies. Because, like, we played a game last night of memorization where nobody got eliminated.
Yeah.
The same thing with the rollout. It's like every time you come out of rollout, you see like 4 or 5 guys. Yeah, 3, 4.
Is that the barrel one?
Yeah.
No, they have a set number that has to be hit on the barrel one.
Yeah, but usually it takes too long. Like nobody's falling off, and it takes way too long for that.
Yeah,
game to
I
end.
understand. But
I'd
at
like
least
to
on
see a
that
little
one,
bit.
you have to get 18 people out, as opposed to the memory one where it's just like if you complete the 3 levels, you're done. Roll out, at least you have to sit there the whole time until people leave.
That memory one should have it. Maybe they should have it too. Like they need a certain amount of people eliminated.
Oh,
And,
then
like-
you
and,
sit
like-
there forever on
But
memory
no, but
games.
here's the thing.
Yeah,
And,
they
like,
just speed it up.
Yeah, pictures speed up. Like they flash real quick, and the timer goes faster before the picture pops up on the wall to see which one you have to stand on. It should be.
It
like
would make
that.
it more challenging for sure, Kevin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be fun.
And then I guess let's just speak on how much we dislike some of the team games.
Y'all be disliking the team games? I like the team games.
I just like my team. I don't necessarily dislike.
They've really
Hey.
grown on me.
Yeah,
Really?
Boney's different because
They
he's
got
out here
better.
solo grinding. We're out here. It's like I'm yelling at Washburn to go do this, or he's like, "Yo, Mike, I'm the goalie. Ain't nothing passing us." And Kevin's out here, Cristiano Ronaldo scoring. Like we play different because we're always a team. I guess if it was solos, then I'd have an issue. But like for me on the team games, that's just a moment where all of us for 3 minutes get to laugh and work together, which I love.
I hate the hoarders.
Some of them
one.
go for too long.
The egg snatch.
No,
Hoarder.
the hoarder ones.
yeah.
Hoarder ones. I don't like that one
What's
too
the
much.
order one?
That's like
The
the
eggs.
No,
The
hoarder.
eggs.
No. Hoarder one is the like 9 balls in the middle, and you have to push it to your
yeah,
assistant.
Oh, you got to keep them in your
Oh,
zone.
the volleyballs.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't like that one? That one's dope.
No,
really?
I don't like it
Okay.
too
Oh,
much.
interesting.
I don't know why. It's
Yeah.
just like I like the football, the soccer one the most.
Yeah, I feel like that one's lends itself to like the most entertaining gameplay when you have people on your squad.
I
And
am
then, like,
excited to hear if
twisting
that's
people
really
in
the most.
egg Scramble is pretty great, but
Yeah.
I
mean-
just everyone just grabbing each other.
yeah,
Maddox's going to take us through all of them. We're going to rank them really quick. I'm actually surprised to hear that you think that one might be at the bottom because I'm thinking there's some ones that like you'd be surprised that you hate more than others. Give us at least the racist one then, Maddox. Give me the racist one then.
Okay, we've got Dizzy Heights,
Love it.
which is the spinny one.
Yep.
Mhm.
First
spinny
place every
bullets one.
time.
I like that
I'm
one.
undefeated.
Easy. Locked in. Locked in.
Seesaw,
Hate
See,
it.
great. First
I
place
like that
every
one.
time. No problem. Close
Yeah.
my eyes. I do it.
Easy.
DoorDash is a good one.
DoorDash is
Yeah.
fun.
My favorite. Fruit Shoot. I'm terrible at
Fruit
Fruit
Shoot
Shoot.
Oh,
is-
it's
I love
tough,
that
but
one.
it's fun. It's
Yeah,
tough,
yeah,
but it's
that
fun.
one.
The
That one is a
blue-
great one.
I don't know which one Hit Parade is. Oh, it's like the ones with the
You start
yeah,
out
yeah,
and
yeah.
there's
That's the
yeah,
bars. That's the
yeah,
bars
yeah,
in the
yeah,
beginning,
yeah.
yeah. Hit Parade's fun. Everyone tries to go through the center and always gets bladed.
Mhm.
Yeah, dude. I've been going through the
Yeah.
center all the time now. That's my move.
And the ramp part is funny too. And then we got Gate Crash.
Yeah.
Gate Crash is
That's
just
the
the
ones with
gates
the
that go
walls
up
going
and
up and
down.
down.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. That one's
That one's
pretty
a
good.
fun one.
I would put that middle tier.
Mhm.
Slime Climb, probably top tier.
That's
Best one.
top tier. Top tier.
Whirly Gig's
Whirly
the-
jig.
So yeah,
That's
I
not-
would.
that's not a race though, right?
Whirly
Yeah.
jig? Yeah, it's a race.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh.
It's the one with all the windmills.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's the
Oh, I
windmills. Hit Parade
That's
is
the
the
middle
one.
one. So you're thinking of the spin one with like the different spin doctors on there.
No, wait.
Okay.
No.
Wait, which one's Hit Parade then?
Hit Parade?
I
Hit
think we're
parade,
getting-
you start out, there's pylons, you
Yeah.
jump, and then you're running through
Oh,
these
okay, yeah, yeah.
carousels. And then there's that wall that opens and shuts.
Yeah. that's the
Oh
one.
yeah. Got it.
God, that one's wild, bro. That
one's
one's
okay.
wild, bro.
Yeah.
That middle part with the wall closing in and out, it's just pure mayhem.
Yeah.
And then the
You
final
can
race
go
is
from first to last, and that's so fast if you get caught up in the bodies right there.
I mean,
Mhm.
you just go to the sides. But I always
Well, yes, Kevin. That's some people don't know about the sides. That's right.
Yeah.
Kevin.
the
I mean,
sides
no,
system.
you don't go to the sides. Don't go to the sides anymore.
Zach, Kevin, don't be giving all these people all your secret moves, bro.
I didn't realize that if you grab someone on like the slime part, that it like pulls them back and you get like a little boost.
Mhm.
You do?
Didn't know that. Didn't know
Yeah.
that. Now I know.
I'm pulling Mike all the time now.
That's why people are speeding past me on that because I always wonder like how is this guy going faster than me in the slime? That's it right there. Okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
And then what do you have? Tiptoe, the last one, right?
Tippy toe, baby.
That's not a. I guess that's a race. Yeah.
Tippy
it's a
toe
race.
is hands down
Yeah.
one of the most adrenaline fueled, heart pumping game modes they have because it is pure like you need to stay in the middle unless you're ballsy enough like Kevin to be the one out in the front. But like your goal is to stay in the middle and fight off all the bumping, all the grinding, and hope that you're in like that top 6 situation to make the final jump there. You know what I mean? That's my favorite part about that. Suspenseful is what you call that.
Yeah. And then I guess Fall Mountain is the other final race.
Yeah, that's
Mm.
the final, yeah.
That's as far as final rounds go. That one's the most difficult to win, probably. I would say.
What?
Yes.
Really?
Mountain?
You think Fall Mountain?
No.
Mhm.
No, what do you think, Kevin?
Hexagon, because the people can mess you up on that one.
Yeah, Hex is like
People can
I would
mess you
think
up on
Hex.
that one, but I feel like if you take one wrong step on Fall Mountain, you're just out of it.
Yeah, that is kind of true.
Can't you say that
That
with
is
Hex,
true.
though,
You don't
too?
take the best line.
Yeah, I guess, but
Because
Hex,
you
if
should
you
hit
take
the
them
next
wrong,
level.
you take one wrong step, you could go down like 3 levels.
Mm.
You know, we're also not giving credit. Tails is probably very difficult alone, right? Like
Yeah.
when we play Tails, it's us for bullying some kid usually. But like if you were playing Tails alone, that's a tough game mode because if you're not right there in the final 10 seconds, you got a big issue on your hands.
Yep,
That's a tough game
that.
mode too.
I can confirm that. It's pretty tough.
I
myself.
just
We out here
all
cheap
of
that
the
game.
Tails modes.
Yeah, we cheat Bone Jangle, so if you want to win, just hang with us, you know?
Yeah.
I should.
The
I need more
worst
crown.
Tails mode is like the team Tails mode or the solo Tails. I don't like those ones.
I'm not the biggest fan of Tails, but
It
like,
goes on
I think a
forever.
lot of that has to do with the desync and people grabbing my tail from like 2
Mhm.
miles behind me.
Yeah, I have no
Yeah.
idea how that happened.
So like, Tails isn't my favorite.
I like them. Tell me, Kevin.
I'd take Team Tails over the solo Tails when everyone's on their
Yeah.
own. That was
Mhm.
Yeah, the solo Tails is tough. I like them. I just feel like they're too long. Like for me, it's like I enjoy that, but let's cut it down a minute. Instead of 2 minutes of gameplay, let's just do a minute because it really doesn't matter to the final 20 seconds where it is the mad scramble of like, if you got a tail, you protect yourself. If you don't, you need to go for it. And you don't need more than 20 seconds, A, to get across the map, or B, to chase somebody around. So like 2 minutes of just running and doing this nonstop is kind of boring for sure.
Mhm.
How do you feel about the hoops? Jumping through the hoops.
Love the hoops.
I don't like
I
the
love
hoop
that
one.
one.
Hoops is a team game. They're bone
Sounds
jangles,
fun.
meaning like if you're going solo, like you really got to hope to God your team is moving. Because
Yeah.
like when we play us four, we separate into separate areas and we just dominate, right? We got 70 points on one game. That was like
Mhm.
the highest we've ever seen.
That was crazy.
Yeah,
we
that's
dominated.
That's one of the team battles that most people seem competent at when I'm queuing solo. Like
Yeah,
I
hoops
usually
is
do
all
pretty
about-
well.
Yeah, hoops is all about just getting in your zone and claiming your zone.
Put it down. Yep. Own that
Mhm.
zone.
I like team wise. I like the football one, fall ball. I think that's my
Mhm.
favorite one.
Yeah,
soccer.
Yeah,
Soccer's
so fun.
And then when the football comes in and it gets real wild, great
Oh,
times.
yeah. Well, no,
Football or the golden egg.
Yeah, it
We
gets
don't ever
wild with
get the
golden
golden egg, oddly enough.
What's the
We've
golden
seen
egg?
it once. There's a golden egg that will drop that's worth 5 points.
Oh, really?
What?
Yeah.
It rarely drops. See, we've never had it when we play. I've
Mhm.
seen it on different streams, but we never get that, oddly
I-
enough.
no,
I don't know if it's because we're dominating or what it is.
I
you
think we
know?
had it one time, Mike. We didn't.
Well,
We never made
one
it in.
time as opposed to 100 is kind of a big deal. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah,
you
but
know,
I mean,
we
at
just
least
don't see it
at least
often.
we've seen it though.
Yeah, I would like to see it more. I think it should be consistent. I think that should be in there every single game, no matter what. And it should be like, oh man, this is worth 5. We have to get this, you know?
I thought it dropped.
Seeing
When,
it 1 out of 100 is not worth it.
I thought it dropped when someone was getting dominated though. That way, there's a chance for the other team can catch up.
We won that one game 8-0. It was like
Yeah.
Mike and I, and then like 2 jabrones, and we just dominated those kids.
Dominate kids, dude. You get Kevin on your team. You get
Yeah.
Kevin and Washburn on defense, Kevin on offense. That's an
Mhm.
instant win. Instant win. I like it when it's 4v4 and then you start counting heads. I think the best part is soccer always comes down to the end, right? Where it's like, hey, there's 8 people. Now you're like, okay, this is 4v4. If we win, I have a big chance to win this game at the end of all this because we're only going up against 3 other people, which is
Yeah.
awesome. You know, I love that.
Before we get to ranking this lovely battle royale, I would just like to say that Mike is on a quest to make us feel burnt out on this game, and if they don't add new stuff, I'm gonna not want to play in like 2 weeks.
This is I agree, Matt. Like I'm at that point almost where it's like I don't know. I don't know. It's just so
He
refreshing.
says that and
It's
he's
so
playing it right
fun.
now, dude.
I'm playing it right now. I like playing it a lot. I don't know. I agree, Maddock, right? Like, am I worried that this is going to become a Borderlands 3 scenario where we play this for 2 weeks straight and all of a sudden it's like, hey, there's no new game modes. We've done this. We've done that. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to keep playing this. But at least right now in this moment, I could play this for 5 hours straight, laugh, and do it daily right now. That's how much fun I'm having.
Mm-hmm. Kevin, what do you think of that? Should we do that?
What was
Could
it?
you
The-
could you play
Like
this
5
game
hours a
daily? And yeah, how many hours do you think you could really put in?
daily? How many hours? 1 hour.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm on the same page as Kevin.
1 hour? Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. That's
I'm like a
nuts.
little burnt after that.
I think like it's been great for us the past couple nights coming off of Warzone and
Yeah.
just ending our night that way. We're for an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Yeah, but
And that's-
like last night when we were doing it, we kept getting the same games, and I was like, all right, I wanted something different, and we're not really getting it, and I was like, I kind of want to call it quits.
it's just another reason why they need
Yeah.
custom lobbies.
Yeah.
Exactly. Let's end this with like what Washburn just said. This game needs custom lobbies, especially us as streamers together, right? Always gaming. Like this would make for the greatest streamer video game if you could, choose your friends or have it like Jackbox where you type in a code and you can enter me and Maddox and Kevin and Washburn's game and like everybody can get involved. I think that's incredible. You know what I mean? That would be the move here.
Yeah.
I think I would be more addicted to it if it was 60 of our chat friends.
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah.
Like Bone Jangles is
Yeah.
screaming in your ear. Then all of a sudden, Boney's leading the team. Washburn's got a team. I got a team. Like that would be really fun, And then you
For
shoutcast it. You get everybody involved. That they got to figure that out. They got to
I
make
would
this
definitely
happen.
I would go back to playing for like 6 hours a night if that happened.
Yeah, no doubt.
Just a
Right?
chance to crush Flurple.
Oh, F Flurple, dude. He's be lying. I got 20 wins tonight. I got this and that. Like Flurple's got a big old goose egg, dude. I promise that Flurple's got a
Goose
goose
egg.
egg of wins, bro. He got 0.
All right, so now to rank those battle royales. At number 7 currently we have Cuisine Royale. At number 6 we have Ring of Elysium. At number 5 we have Super Animal Royale. At number 4 we have PUBG. At number 3 we have Realm Royale. At number 2 we have Fortnite. And at 1 we have Apex Legends. What are we thinking? No, get out of here with number 1.
I'll put the number
I
1.
mean, how do you like rank it as a battle royale? Rank it as a battle royale. Don't
I'll
rank it
put-
as a good video game.
Wouldn't that come to the conclusion if it's a good battle royale? If it's a good video game? Because that's what it is. It's a battle royale.
Yeah.
All right, I'm putting it over Super Animal Royale under PUBG if it were ranked.
Oh
like
my
that.
god!
I'm gonna say this,
bro. When I said that, I didn't mean do. I didn't mean do
Give me a
that.
moment. Give me a moment. Over the weeks now, I feel bad because now I agree with Washburn. Super Animal Royale deserves a little more love. It should be higher up than this.
It's too late for
But
that.
I'm going to be honest with you. This game is great. This game is better than Super Animal Royale. This game is way better than PUBG. This game, for me personally, is better than Fortnite. But when we rank it on battle royales, right? What is the battle royale here? You have to say, here's 25 different game modes. Here's a game that goes from solo to single player game modes. Here's a game that's family friendly that everybody can play. Here's a game that runs very well, right? Like, in all honesty, this game is running very well. It has to be high. It has to be high right now.
I guess. What is our definition for a battle royale? Is it or is it you're the last man standing out of a group of 60 or more?
Yep.
Yeah.
That makes it a battle royale.
That's the battle royale. Yep. 100%.
Okay.
I don't know if it has to be 60, but
Isn't that
Yeah.
what
Out of
Project
a
is like
group
10.
of people, you were the last one. Is right. Yeah.
I was gonna say, isn't that what Animal Royale is? 60 people? How much is that?
Well, I mean, it doesn't.
Well,
It doesn't
Apex
matter.
is
Let's not.
60,
Let's start arguing numbers here. It's literally the last person standing wins. That's a
Out of
battle royale.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, for me, it goes above Realm and below Fortnite. It goes to number 3.
I can
Maybe.
agree with that.
I say it goes above Fortnite.
So would that be 3?
If he put it above Fortnite, that would be
Fortnite would
2.
be 2.
Is this really bigger than the big 3? In all honesty, Apex, Fortnite, and Call of Duty. Is this really bigger than the big 3?
I mean, we haven't ranked Call of Duty yet, so we don't know where that stands.
I know, but I'm being open and honest with people, right?
He's being open and honest and saying that Call of Duty is going to be in the top 3.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
Y'all give me your votes. I'm high on this. I'm high.
Well, I'm putting it above Realm, below Fortnite. At number 3.
I can get behind that.
That's where I
It's
put
just,
it.
man, it's so easy to play that anyone can play it for a battle royale. It's just 2 buttons. That's all you need, or 3.
Yeah.
I guess, to grab and that. Yeah, but
You can't play it on your phone.
yeah, it's true. You
Can't play it on your phone.
Can't play it on your Xbox.
There are ripoffs
my
on the
God.
phone already, though.
I've tried it on
We
phone.
saw that.
I've tried it.
There are ripoffs.
I tried that fall people, whatever it's called.
All dudes.
Fall
I would put it personally at 3 or 4.
That's
Above
about where I was.
because it's
Should
definitely
we
more-
do this?
like I can't on basis of just fun levels of fun having playing a game. I cannot put it above or below PUBG because PUBG has so many things that make you like, oh, this is not fun right
Mhm.
now.
Should we vote?
I put
Yep.
3 then. I put it 3.
All right.
So, yeah,
I think we're all at
Like-
3, right?
yeah, 3.
Yeah, I say 3.
Okay. Let's do 3 then.
It's so good. It is so good.
I'm calling for
think about
hashtag justice for Super Animal Royale for Washburn. Justice
It's gonna
for Super,
be
put it above
yeah.
PUBG. Get
Justice.
Super Animal
No,
Royale
we
higher.
can't go back anymore. We
No,
said
can't
it.
Hashtag
change the
justice.
list.
Mike, you had your chance that week.
You.
To agree
This
with
is your
Washburn.
fault.
I know it's my
Yeah.
fault. It's my fault, and I feel like I need to fix this now, bro.
Fix
I
it.
gotta fix this.
Fix it.
All right, put it
All
at
right.
number 3. That's where I'm at. That's
So
my
our
vote.
new rankings are Cuisine Royale at number 8, but really at number 150. Ring of Elysium at like number 100 probably. At number 6, Super Animal Royale. At number 5, PUBG. At number 4, Realm Royale. At number 3, Fall Guys. At number 2, Fortnite. And at number 1, The Legends of the Apex, which is having a new season coming soon. We'll have to go check that out a little bit, I say,
New hero
in a couple weeks here.
or new legend. What do we call him?
But next week, we are looking into the Hyperscape and seeing how it's going to run on Xbox, which I think is going to be a fascinating experiment, especially because it's supposed to be crossplay and you may be running into PC players. And I feel like that is, if this game doesn't have very strong aim assist, it will not be fun for the
Yeah,
Xbox players.
It's gonna be insane. I'll test it on
We
PlayStation
shall
4.
see, though. Okay, cool. Yeah, we're definitely gonna do the thing, check out a few things. I know that they're adding another new gun and another new hack for the launch of the game. We'll see what the game modes look like. They had 1s and 3s before. Maybe we can get some 4s going. Hopefully we can get some
Ooh,
4s going.
hopefully,
That'd be
hopefully.
good.
Be nice. Anyone else have any final words before we peace out of this joint?
Excited about Hyperscape on console. What's the launch date on that again? The 10th,
August 11th.
11th. So Tuesday.
Tuesday. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
I'm
to jump
excited
into
to
that.
see how it feels on console.
Mhm.
Definitely, because it's definitely a task on PC. I feel like,
Yeah.
on keyboard and mouse, it is not an easy game.
Yeah.
All right,
One last thing, Mike. I know
Yeah.
we went over an hour, so you'll get the other 1,000 in the mail. All right.
Send
Send
the
him a
check in
check,
the mail,
Kevin.
Kevin. Send the check in the mail.
I'm sorry about that. We went over a bit.
I had a ton of
All
fun.
right.
It's the best.
I'm glad that you could join us again.
Yeah.
Back from your
Well, you know
long
what?
hiatus.
Work ends at the end of the month, so I'll be back to doing nothing.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Hey, as long as you don't catch COVID, am I right?
Yeah.
Or am I right?
Yeah.
All
Our
right.
biggest concern is Washburn. Let's all pray for Washburn when we say goodbye. Think about Washburn. Just make sure he's okay.
Yeah, and his school
I'll get a hazmat suit.
has that suit Washburn. All right, you can catch Bone Jangles at twitch.tv/Bone Jangles. You can catch Snowbike Mike at twitch.tv/Snowbike Mike. You can catch Washburn at twitch.tv/Washburn135. You can catch Kevin Ace X at twitch.tv/Kevin Ace X. You can catch me at twitch.tv/Maddock Jr. Until next time, Bone Jangles, what do we say?
Comms out.